It's a little bit damp and the roads are decidedly moist, but never mind, we are here now. Rally prepared Manta. We have a Ford E83W. Is it a 1550 or a 444? Such a surprising turnout of large commercials here today in this field. Welcome to Old Classic Car. Now this in theory is going to be quite a busy weekend because we have 3 events lined up, 3 classic car events that I'm hoping to do videos at, but as you might be able to hear on the tin roof, it is raining and the forecast for the whole weekend is looking pretty dire, if I'm honest. The first event that we're hoping to get to this evening is an evening meeting over near a place called Malpas, and it's organised by the Whitchurch Motor Club, and it's called the Anything Goes car show. Classic cars, sports cars, rally cars, commercial vehicles, tractors, a little bit of everything usually turns up. And if you've been on the channel or been following the Old Classic Car channel for a while, you may well remember the Anything Goes meet video that we did last year when we took the little Standard 8. And the plan this evening, assuming it does dry out a little bit, is again to take the little 1956 Standard for a trundle over to Malpas and just have a look and see what vehicles turn up for what is usually a really well attended event. But like I say, the weather could dampen spirits a little bit, but hopefully not. The weather forecast shows the rain, the worst of the rain, passing through by about 4 or 5 o'clock, somewhere like that, so fingers crossed we'll be alright this evening for this car show. Well, it appears to have stopped raining. Little Standard is damp now, so there's nothing to lose by going over and seeing what other cars turn up. We're all fully loaded up, all the goodies on board. Well, we are here, folks. There are a few cars in the field already. It's a little bit damp and the roads are decidedly moist, but never mind, we are here now.
Do some donuts.
Should have put some town and country tyres on the back, I think. Well, it is a little bit breezy, but that might just keep the rain off, so we live in hope. There are a few cars here already. We'll have a proper look round a little bit later, but I think for now we'll go and loiter over near the entrance over there, over yonder, and just see what else is going to turn up and brave the elements this Friday evening. I think it's a little bit tall. It's a very groovy little golf-based pickup. Is that a Caddy? Lovely old Series 1 Land Rover. There's a midget with a roof down behind it. Where there's a will, there's a way. Lovely rally prepared Manta. Another one defying the weather forecast. This is the Anything Goes car meet, so it doesn't have to be old, doesn't have to be new, just something that someone's enthusiastic about.
Some of these cars are going into
the public car park is over to the right, and the more interesting cars are going to the left.
7 Series. 750, is it?
Ooh, big old 7 Series, you're right.
760.
A 760, a V12.
Yeah. Wow. There's your Saab.
There's a Saab, but we did see an earlier 900 Turbo driving past on the main road before. So where's that gone? Is he not coming back here? Ooh, what do I spy here? I think we have a Fordson tractor. Yep, a Fordson Major, a Super Major no less. That's a bonny example. How clean is that? It's good to see a few more vehicles and things arriving now. Nice grey Capri. And a wonderful MG that we see here, there and everywhere. Last spotted at one of the Combermere meetings, I think. The roof down on that occasion, but not today, but it's great to see it here. Ooh, be still my beating heart. We have a Ford E83W. I've owned a few of these over the years. If you check out e83w.co.uk, you'll see the little website that I set up years and years and years ago, all about these lovely little vans and pickups. These were built from 1938 to 1957. Yeah, it was indeed. It's only here that I ever see that, I think. But wow. Isn't that lovely? The Triumphs, inbound. Like I said before, this is anything goes car meet. Cars old and newish. As this is the Old Classic Car channel, we will be focusing mainly on the older cars, so please forgive me if your car is a bit newer than those that end up in this video, but yeah, I do try and stick to mainly looking at the older cars here. Nice meaty V6 burble in the XR4i. Your Nick Sunshine. How cool is that? V8 powered P6 police car. Beautiful ex-military World War II Morris commercial lorry. This one lives fairly locally. The Morris pickup, the little minor base pickup. Pretty serious looking agricultural vehicle there. Something pretty big on the back of that low loader as well. I don't know what it is, but it looks neat. A little Daihatsu Copen, you don't see those every day of the week. You can just about see a little yellow Lotus Elan in the distance there as well, behind the Mark II Escort. Nice Z3 there. Happy memories of our old 2.8 Z3 a few years ago. Lovely straight six, fantastic sounding engine in those. With super clean 205, a 4-door Peugeot 205. Representative of Austin Rover here now, the little metro. Brace of MGBs. It's great to see lots of people supporting this evening meet. So much organisation goes into these meetings, and when the weather looks a bit iffy, it's such a shame. So yeah, it's great to see this turnout of enthusiast-owned cars here this evening. Lovely little 1950s Wolseley here. So, is it a 1550 or a 444? Not much difference between the two, but the 1550 had the BMC B-Series engine under the bonnet. So well, let's go and get in a bit closer and just see if there's any badging to give the game away. It's a 444, I think. Bit of heavy metal here now. Better get out of the way, I think. Perfect for this terrain, I think. We saw this drifting Alton Park quite recently, this particular little 3 Series. The beige 5 Series BMW, one of the E28 cars. Actually, a surprising turnout of large commercials here today in this field. Little Thames 307E van. How bonny is that? There's that pair of MGBs that we saw coming in before, this one on a J plate, both chrome bumper cars. This one's got a tow bar on it. Oof. I wonder if it's got a period matching caravan to go with it. A very bonny pair of Lucas lamps on the front there, a couple of spot lamps.
Absolutely mint, aren't they?
They are minters, aren't they? Yeah.
Right, there's a little bit of mud obviously just from the field.
Yeah, I mean, it is a very muddy field. So which colour would you go for then? Shiny red?
Blue.
I suppose you should have one of each, red, white and blue, shouldn't you?
I guess. Good convoy.
Yeah.
Out of these two I'll probably say white though, just because you see so many
I
red.
do see a lot of red ones.
But I mean that looks lovely.
Alpine, one of the few modern cars I don't mind. And there's that lovely Wolseley 444. Smart one that is as well. Lovely original upholstery. Yeah, well, it is very mellow. Yeah, there's plenty of cars here. There's a forward controlled Land Rover we saw coming in before. Prepared for all eventualities. Here's that E28 5 Series we saw come in. That's quite a late one on an 86 registration. Between me, my brother and dad, we've had quite a few E28s over the years. 528i's, 520s, a couple of 535i's. Don't often see them in beige. 525e. So that was the 525 Etta. This was the, I think the idea was, well, that's a nice Mini, very nice indeed. I think the idea of the E, the Etta, was it was like an economy model, so it had very tall gearing in it. And the idea was that this would be sort of the economical car in the 5 Series range. Quite what effect it had having a much taller gearing in it, I'm not quite sure, but yeah, it would have blunted the acceleration a little bit. But if miles per gallon was your thing, then this may have been the car that you would have gone for. You don't see too many of them now, so it's great to see this one here today. There's a recent arrival, a Series 3 long wheelbase Landy. If there's one vehicle here today that isn't going to get stuck in this slightly damp field, it's probably this. There's that beautiful Morris commercial, the ex-military Morris lorry that came in before. You can always tell the ex-military stuff with these sort of very angular utilitarian front ends compared to sort of the civilian lorries of the 30s and the 1940s. Quick, cheap and simple to make and repair. That was the thinking behind all this kind of thing. Aesthetics didn't really come into it. Proper sign writing. Very bonny little lorry this is. There's a steering box exposed to the elements. Next to the Morris commercial lorry we have the little Morris pickup, the minor based pickup. Well, I say minor based. It's only really the front end tin work and the engine. These had a separate chassis compared to the monocoque construction of all the other Moggies. TVR Chimera. We'll have a proper look at that row later. There's that little Daihatsu Copen. Very bonny little car that is. There's not many cars that the MX-5 looks big parked alongside, but there we go. What's this Escort here? A two-door Escort that isn't a rally car. A little 1300 Super.
Nice steel wheels.
Yeah.
It's not. I think it kind of looks better with those arches.
Yeah, it's got the Lotus Cortina style, slightly wider steelies, but otherwise looks pretty stock, doesn't it?
It's a lovely colour.
Yeah, I like that.
Nice and solid.
It is, isn't it? So, Mark 1 and Mark 2 next to each other. There's that bright yellow Lotus Elan fixed head that came in before on a G-Reg. Need sunglasses for these two. Really tasty little Beetle. Morris Minor Traveller.
Make it look like I'm trying to find it. The trouble is, the one that's missing is the one I wanted to keep.
Beautiful MG. Must be the oldest car here, I think. We'll just have to go and have a look at the little E83W with the extended cab. The regular factory-built vehicles or pickups, the cab used to stop about there, so you were very tight on legroom for the driver and the passenger. That's assuming the passenger even had a seat, because usually they didn't even have a seat. It's on the correct wider 16-inch rims, which is right for the pickup. Eh?
The speedo goes to 90.
Yes, that's the same as a pop speedo. It's not the same as the Anglia, but
What are these, about 30, 35?
yeah, 35. And once you get to about 35, you really know you're doing it, because they're very low geared. The back axle ratios in the little commercials are super low.
Because they had to carry stuff, but not a very big engine, didn't it? So
Yeah, it's the 1172cc engine in that one.
So it's got to have really low gears to get anywhere.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a lovely bonny little vehicle. You don't see many E83Ws around. There was one at Malpas. There was a van at the Malpas rally last year, funny enough, which is in the field just over the back there. And that was really nice. And there's the two green Triumphs we saw come in before, the Triumph 1500.
That's a valid point.
Yeah, they look pretty neat together. At first glance, they look very, very similar, but the more you look at them, the more differences you see. Next to the mighty Mustang, the Roush Mustang, Roush, whatever, is a 3500S police car. We saw this one driving before as well on an N-Reg. That's quite a late example of the breed. 3500S, manual gearbox, in full police spec. Tinted glass, horns, extra lamps. It's a pretty wild looking car, that is. You wouldn't want to see one of these in your rear view mirror when you're belting down the M1 in your, what would it be, XJ6 or something like that. The old bill on your tail with a V8 3.5S. Fortunately, there's a handy information sheet in the window of this P6, so pause the video if you want to find out the full SP on this particular car. Ex-Northamptonshire Police. There's that little Thames 307E. What a neat little van that is. What?
I'll do that then. Yeah, I'll do that. These are things actually in wearing.
There's that wonderful Foden in the livery of Blue Circle Cement.
She just insulted people and then laughed at us.
Over here in Patina Corner, the Series 3, or maybe, well, it's on an earlier registration, so even though it's got Series 3 style wings, it's probably a Series 2.
This has got a Perkins V8.
Perkins V8, wow, look at that.
In the firing order on the side. And obviously there's 4 of these on the side. It's quite an oily rag.
Yeah, it's a proper oily ragger. Yeah, that looks pretty purposeful. Yeah, super mage. Yeah. wonder if they do a bit of tractor pulling with it. They're on the pull, on the pull.
Yeah, that's one. I thought it was a V8 because obviously there's 4 of these on the side. I just wanted to make sure.
Looks like it means business. Appears to be a bit of damp stuff in the air now. Well, let's go down this road, spot the oldies. Nice 325i. RS 1600i, that's a rare car. That's much rarer than the XR3i, even though they look very similar. That's quite a rare beast. What else have we got? Like I say, the weather will have put off a lot of people this particular time, which is a shame. If you want to see a more representative video of what tends to go on here and what turns up, have a look at the 2022 video that I did of this, the Anything Goes car show, because the turnout, especially the turnout of older cars, was really, really great. There's some nice stuff here today, but probably not as many as there would have been if it was a nice sunny evening. Over here we've got a Spitfire, I think it's about 67 this one, complete with a fastback Ashley roof. Seen this one once or twice now. I did buy one of those roofs for my first Mark III Spitfire in the late 80s. I wasn't a big fan, so I took it off about 2 days later. It's pretty cool to see one now because you don't see many of these roofs. Usually you can lift them off, but this one's actually been blended on, as you can see here. There would have been a join under there originally, because the original car would have either had a soft top or no roof at all, or the hard top, which sort of stopped like there. Then you've got a flat panel here, and then the boot lid, the standard boot lid, which sort of comes down here, steel boot. All that's been taken off and this roof's been put on, and in this case it's actually been fitted permanently and blended in. So it's a bit of a GT6 look, but with the 4-cylinder Spitfire engine. It's pretty groovy, little Caterham 7 there. MX-5's a Fiat Uno. Bit of water on the lens now, and we've got the E34 wagon. Oh dear, the rain's blowing across now. Nice E30 Cabriolet.
Well, it looks the same.
Let's keep going down here. Big Volvo estate. Quite a soft spot for one of those. GLT alley wheels. Now whether it's a GLT or not I don't quite know, but yeah, mighty 240 series. The Carlson 900 turbo Carlson. This was top of the range of the classic Saab 900 turbos in the early 1990s. Yeah. Eric Carlson, of course, that's what this one's named after. Slightly different body kit on it, big whale tail on the back, all those kind of things, but yeah, quite a rare survivor. Next to that, a Hillman Avenger. One of the fairly late Hillman Avengers. That's on an R registration. Ooh. Vinyl roof. Another beautiful Elan, this time the Elan Sprint. Very nice indeed, fiberglass body. Very much the inspiration for the early MX-5s. Mark II Golf, very clean looking car. Ooh, trio of bubble cars over here.
Do you remember this one?
I do, yes. What's that, a pair of Heinkels and an Isetta, BMW Isetta in the middle? Hey?
One wheel at the back.
Single wheel, yes. Matching coat, madam.
You're all matching.
Do you have a car?
I'm not here. already to clean out the jet, the pilot jet. As I got under and got a spanner in it.
Rally prepared Mark II Escort. Another E30 Cabriolet. Cars are still pouring in. Another Series 1 Land Rover. Austin A35, a two-door saloon, UYW 999.
You're a two-door or a four-door guy with these?
I'm a four-door person, even though they're a bit tight to get in and out the back. I just like the shape, I like the proportions of a four-door. Same with the Morris Minor.
Yeah,
I've always preferred four-door Minors to the two-doors. Yeah, tidy little car, this one, 948cc of rippling BMC A-Series power under that little bonnet. Nice and easy to open, you just lift up the mascot and up she goes. Very nice too. Same engine as in the A40 Mark 1 at home. Honda Integra Type R for the fans of the later modern classic. Right, Mark 1 VW Golf, 5-door. Sierra Estate. It's one of those cars that used to be on every street corner, every motorway services used to be packed with these reps driving up and down the country in their Sierras and Cavaliers and so on. But they've all but disappeared now. Another Spitfire over here. Doesn't say so, but on an S plate, so I think it's probably a 1500. So we saw the Mark III before, then they reskinned it and they restyled it quite a lot. Very, very different bodywork on these slightly later Spitfires compared to the earlier ones. Gone was the seam along the top of the bonnet there, for example. The wings are actually seam, the join is there. Yeah, totally different front end, totally different back end, different doors, different door handles. It's got a cut-off tail, a bit like the Stag and the Triumph 2000 Mark II. Oh, sunshine. The sun shines on the righteous. Mark II MX-5 over here. There's that little Metro Norman, the 205. Rivals back in the day, I suppose. Sunshine and showers. There's that Z3. I quite like these TTs as well. I think these are definitely sort of classic in the making. These are, I think. Bonnet up on the lovely MG. Need to put the roof up on the MG midgets there. Series 1 Landy. Porsche 924. Golf Cabriolet pairing. Audi GT. It's that little Renault. And a little standard part there on the end. You'll see we'll put a bit of flow viz, just like the F1 cars on here. Or it could just be mud from the back lanes as we drove over. The E36 Compact. I think these are quite popular with the, I mean there's the E30, the forerunner of the E36. But I think these E36 Compacts are quite popular with auto testing and rallying and so on because they share the same simple back suspension as on the earlier E30s, I believe, and that just makes them a little bit more favourably looked upon. Apparently, yeah, they do handle a bit better. And there's that lovely Opel Manta we saw driving in before while we were hovering around the gate. Another MX-5, good to see a few of those here today. There's another E36, that time a 4-door. And up here, we've got a green 1600 GT Mark 1 Escort Mexican. A bit of classic moped action here, Honda Express.
50cc, isn't it?
Yeah, you'll be able to ride one of these soon legally, won't you? If you got your CBT and got some L plates in a year or so, you'll be able to ride one of these. Supplied by James Sandyford Motorcycles Limited, Bury in Lancashire. Looks very original. A restored Yamaha, 400cc Yamaha alongside, and a Puch Maxi. Great little 125 Honda as well. Well, it appears to stop raining, even if only temporarily, so we'll make the most of it and carry on walking around, see what we can see. Yeah, a little standard looks great here amongst all this generally much more modern company. We'll just try to decide what the oldest car is. I think there's the MG, wasn't it? The nice blue MG. And these Series 1 Land Rovers we've seen before, they probably predate this by a couple of years or so. There's a bit of popping and banging going on there with someone's exhausts, but rest assured it's not us. This doesn't tend to do the popping exhausts, surprisingly. So have a closer look at this Landy. Bit of information in the window. It looks very original. Look at the paintwork on this. It's a 1951 80-inch petrol 2 litre. Built on October 24th, 1951. Dispatched to the War Department, where it was issued with the Army registration 02BH78 and served with the military until being sold as surplus in April 64. Wow. It's bonny, that, isn't it?
Probably original, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Or been like that for a long time.
Yeah. Nice Capri 2 litre S over here. We'll go away from all the popping and banging. This is a Land Rover based vehicle built for the Judge Dredd film, I think this was. Bit of music in the background, so we need to avoid that to avoid any copyright issues. Perkins diesel badge on the back of this Landy. There's another one we didn't see arriving, a Rover 400, the 4-door saloon version of the 200 hatch. Is this the R8, this series, I think, something like that? Well, at least the hatch was the R8. What would this one have been? Answers on the postcard, please, or preferably in the comment section. Which model is it? Let's have a quick look, because you don't see these all that often now. I can hear a drone buzzing overhead. Yep. A 416 GSI. Anything goes. Why do I always find myself being drawn back to the most original looking vehicles here, the patina cars?
Yeah.
I just seem to keep finding myself ogling those for some reason.
I've looked at that Jeep about 4 times now.
I know. Ooh, BMW i8. Bonny little VW Polo there. Alongside that, another Spitfire. This one's been modified a bit, lowered, different wheels. Yeah.
I know. He said he's going to go to
It's a Ford Orion, the booted version of the Escort. Some purposeful exhausts there.
They're like GT6 sort of things, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think they look brilliant on these.
The bonnet's up on the Ashley Roofed Mark III. This is what I was saying about on the earlier Spitfires, how the wing join is on the top and you've got this stainless strip along the top, whereas on the Mark IVs and the 1500 the bonnet came around here and joined on the seam there. Ooh. 2 Spitfires. There's much earlier trim on these cars compared to the white one we've just looked at. Very sharp looking 944S here, Porsche. Meant to be a good car by all accounts, but always overshadowed by the 911 and perhaps to a lesser extent the 928. But yeah, really good cars by all accounts. Very tidy Mark 1 Ford Cortina GT there, left-hand drive car. That's very cool indeed. Next to that, a Mustang, and alongside that, another Mark 1 Ford Escort 2-door. And again, left-hand drive.
It's on its way, isn't it?
That'll be my luck if I was doing it and flipping the top.
If you want to stop and look at anything, I'm just sort of having a quick wander through. He'd always get a job back, wouldn't he? But yeah, you've got camera and all that there. Oh, really? That's all
It's done 500 miles from you. It's Manchester.
Yeah.
Lovely little script badge on these. Got the illuminated Wolseley badge as well. They were illuminated on all the Wolseleys, I think. There goes that lovely Wolseley 444. No burnouts. Look at this late arrival, Ford Model A. So what's that, late 1920s, 1930s, something like that? Well, it's gone 8 o'clock now, and I think some of the cars are going to start disappearing, and I think we will probably do the same. All things considered, the weather hasn't been too bad at all. We've had a couple of showers, that kind of thing, but nothing really too drenching, nothing that meant we had to go and reach for the brollies, so that was all very good. It will have put off a few people from coming, which is a shame, but there's still been a great turnout nevertheless. Like I say, check out the 2022 Anything Goes video to maybe see a more representative video of the many old cars that we normally see at this particular evening meet. It really is worth penciling into your diaries if you're in the area whenever this meeting takes place. It's a really good do. I'll include a link to last year, the 2022 Anything Goes meeting, at the end of this one, so you can see what I mean. But yeah, it's been a good evening nevertheless, and hats off to everyone who's brought their cars and other vehicles out today.